Hi guys, and welcome to a new tutorial. If you feel like practicing or going along with the video, you can download the sample file in the description. Also, if you have any doubts, don't forget to leave a comment, to like, and to subscribe. So, let's get started. So, a problem that happens very often in databases is that not all of the data is typed the same way. So, for example, in this case, I have the name of this basketball player Stephen Curry. I have it on cell B3 and then again on cell B4, but as you can see, they don't look the same. Why not? Because there is a space that separates the first name from the last name. But in this second example, there seems to be two spaces separating the first name from the last name. So cell B3 and B4, they look the same, but they are not necessarily the same data. So this can lead you to make a lot of mistakes when using another formula like VLOOKUP, which we cover in a different video. So let's just make a quick check before we start fixing this data. So I'm gonna type on cell C3 the equal sign, and I'm gonna type in here if, and I'm gonna open up the parentheses. And if you're not familiar with the if formula, you can check the video about it to understand how this formula works. So I'm going to select cell B3 and then I'm going to type in here this sign followed by this sign, and I'm gonna select cell B4. So what I'm doing here is evaluating if cell B3 is different. That's what these signs mean. If cell B3 is different to cell B4, and if that's true, I want this to display the word different. And if it is false, which would mean that both cells contain the same information, I want this cell to display the word same. And I'm gonna close the parentheses. And I'm gonna press enter. So as you can see, these words are different because as we saw before, there is a space in here. Okay? So we're gonna fix this. So you would fix this by clicking on the data and then probably clicking here and removing the space in here. Okay, and there we go. So there are two problems with doing that. The first one is that, as you can see, this cell is still saying that they are different, but these cells don't look different. They look pretty much the same to me. So what is the problem? The problem is that in many cases, you're gonna have another space which is invisible. In this case, let's see how it looks on the first cell. On cell B3, we have Stephen Curry, and after the Y, there's not another character in there. Okay? But on the second example, on cell B4, if I click in here on the formula bar, you can see that there is a space after the Y. So this space is making the whole thing different. So I can remove this space by erasing it and then pressing enter. And now cell C3 is telling me that the cells are the same. But as I said before, there is another problem with doing this. And what happens if this database is very large and has the same mistake over and over again? You're not gonna have time to correct all of those mistakes. So we're gonna use a formula that is gonna help us with that. So to show you how it works, I'm going to press a space in here and I'm gonna press a space in here. Okay, so now they are different again. And now what I want to do, I want to use the trim formula. So on cell E3, I'm gonna start by typing the equal sign and I'm gonna type in here trim. I'm gonna open up the parentheses and I'm gonna select cell B3. And then I'm going to close parentheses and I'm gonna press enter. So this formula is going to delete all of the spaces that are on a cell, except for the spaces that separate words. So in this case, the formula recognizes that Stephen Curry has to have a blank space between the first name and the last name. So we're gonna copy this formula to do the same thing, but now with the other cell, which is cell B4. So I have selected cell B4. Okay. And now to see if the formula is working, I'm going to copy the if formula that I did here. I'm going to paste it here. So now, as you can see, the formula is telling me that cell E3 and cell E4 are the same. So I have removed the blank spaces that were here. So now I can use the trim formula to remove all of those spaces in all of my datasets. So that's how you use the trim formula to remove blank spaces between or after words. Alright guys, I hope that video was useful. If it was, please don't forget to leave a comment, to like, and to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything and you'll be motivating me to upload more tutorials for you. Also, don't forget that you can download the sample file in the description below. So, thanks again and see you next time!